Hello and welcome back to CSS3 Animations. By the time we're done with this video, you're probably going to get mad at me for not showing you this sooner because it saves us a lot of time typing out all of these properties. But still, I wanted to show you how it's done the hard way before I show you how it's done the easy way, so maybe you can appreciate it a little bit more. So what we're going to do in this video is we're going to talk about how we can combine all of these properties here into one. Now we'll still have to do a couple different versions of that one property for our vendor prefixes, but we can take this transition property, transition duration, and transition timing function and lump them all together into one property. So let's talk about how to do that with our first animation with the height of our list items. So we can do this very easily with one property simply called transition. So transition : space, and then for the shorthand, we'll type the property that we want to animate, which is the height, space, the duration of the animation, which in this case is going to be 0.3 seconds, and then the timing function we want to use, which is ease. So we can accomplish all of this using just one line of CSS here, or actually 4 lines of CSS if you include all the vendor prefixes. But now let's just take all of this here, except for that last line that we just created, and delete it. So now all we have is transition, height, 0.3 seconds, ease. So let's see if that works. Let's save that. And let me point out here that we're dealing with the lesson 6 folder now. So we need to make sure in Chrome that we're pointing to lesson 6/index.html, and we are. So let's refresh that page and hover over our buttons, and we see that everything still works just fine. So again, I'm sure you guys are getting angry at me now for not showing you that sooner, because that certainly saved us a lot of time typing, but we do still need to include our vendor prefixes just to make sure that this works across browsers. So I'm going to highlight this line of code here, copy it, paste it 3 times, and then we'll include our prefixes here. So -webkit -transition, and then -moz -transition, and then for opera -o -transition. So again, that's not going to change anything, but I want to go ahead and refresh and test again just to make sure everything's still working, and it is. So now let's see how we would do that if we have more than one property that we're animating like we do down here at the bottom. So here we have the color and the top properties that we're animating. Let's talk about how we can use this same shorthand for multiple properties. So we'll go to the next line here and we'll create that same transition property. This time we're going to do everything for the first property. So color, space, 0.3 seconds, space, ease, and then we'll put a comma and do everything for the second property. So top, space, 0.3 seconds, space, ease. So again, we're reducing this down to one line, but we're including 2 different properties here. So let's delete these other properties, save our file, and let's make sure that still works. So we'll go back to Chrome, refresh the page, and we'll see that our text is still turning white and still moving down. So we're able to accomplish all of that using just one line of CSS instead of 3 separate lines. Now we still need to add our vendor prefixes here, so we'll copy that, paste it 3 times, and then add our vendor prefixes just like before. But as you can see, this is much easier than typing out each separate property by hand. Otherwise, we would have numerous lines of code here where we only have 4. So that's how you can combine multiple properties using the transition shorthand in CSS3. So once again, before we move on to the next video, let's save it and then test our file again just to make sure everything still works. Everything still looks fine. So let's move on to the next video. Thank you for watching.